Hey, hold on real quick. Hold on. Pause.
All right. Back from the break with random thoughts. My random thought. I mean, obviously, it's hard to say when this shit hits your head. I think it was like maybe in the shower or driving or something like that. But why the hell do we have a dominant hand? Like, why do we have one side of our body is like so uncoordinated compared to the other side? I mean, think about it. It's not like you only see with one eye or hear with one ear or, you know, anything like that. It's like, hey, everything has to be done with your right hand. So if you're left-handed, you're screwed, like scissors and shit like that. Like I actually have left-handed scissors, and I was like, what the hell? Like I couldn't figure it out. And then once I switched hands, I was like, oh shit. But again, like, why the hell? Who did that? God made a mistake.
Yeah.
He makes no mistakes.
Yo, first of all, before I even start with my take on that, you weren't just in the shower and shit like that. You were jacking off, nigga. I know what you were doing. That's what you. And you was like, yo, why does this one feel better than this one?
Well, but some people are ambidextrous though, so
I was gonna say that I'm good with both my hands.
Oh,
Anybody
word?
can catch these hands too.
Anybody can catch them. Yo, okay, well, I don't know. I don't know why it is or whatever, but I think that it's really kind of just a mental thing. Really, I think that we're actually like when we start to learn our motor skills and shit like that, like we kind of just like gravitate into just using one hand like that, you know. But why, on the other hand, people that are ambidextrous, you know what I'm saying? They probably at that time was like using both. You know what I'm saying? To like grab at shit. You know what I'm saying? Like.
right.
When they walk, they probably didn't like, you know, it probably wasn't an automatic right step than a left step. You know what I'm saying? Like it was
Right.
the other way. Or they could be like, you know, left-footed and right-handed and some shit. And that just kind of balanced them out to where like, you know, it just worked out like to where by the time that they were, you know, 7th, 8th grade, shit like that, when you really start to like know yourself and your body and shit like that. Like you know, like you're like, oh, okay, I can write with both hands. Like my handwriting is good with both, you know? Because we can do all the shit that we can do with our right hand with our left. It's just that our mental and our, you know, it's not strong enough. Like, dude, you can see the definition of my arms. Like, look at my right arm. You know?
He's just trying to flex right now. He's trying to flex.
No,
I've been working out.
Right? And then look at left. It's just like
you flexing too. Fuck
you flexing.
No.
lame.
Hey, no, serious question. When did you guys learn how to walk, actually? Do y'all remember that?
When I was around, it was like 10 months to 1 year old.
I was like 5.
Actually taught me.
Jack was 5. Last week.
You lie, bro.
I actually have a theory now. Now I have a theory on my own random thought. I feel like you can kind of condition yourself to be ambidextrous. Like there are some things like picking my nose, I'm better with my left hand. But like for real though, like there's little things like I can just do better that I'm like cutting my nails. Whenever I'm cutting my nails, I seem to cut them like when I cut right hand, cutting my left nails, it seems to be kind of like awkward. You know, it just seems kind of backwards. But my thought is like exactly what I just said with the scissors.
Yeah.
Maybe it was one of those things where they're like, well, you either need like you can't have like a universal set of scissors. Like you're right-handed or left-handed, or like when everybody eats together, you know, if you have somebody sitting with right hand, somebody left-handed, and you're sitting next to each other the wrong way, you're gonna be bumping into each other. So maybe it was just like somebody made a decision like, fuck it. Like everybody's right-handed. That's what we're gonna market. Like that's what it's gonna be. And if people figure out left, they're the outliers. I don't know.
It was probably like,
but it's like who made these rules? You know,
like usually like this shit came from like kings and shit like that. Like how like it was like their ticks and shit that they had. Like how Spanish people, like real Spanish people, like talk with like a lisp.
Yeah,
you know, like when they speak Spanish, like that's because some fucking king had a list and was like, "Yo, you motherfuckers got to talk like me."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
to make himself feel more adequate and more like.
Exactly.
What is that? It's true, but that's so dumb.
But yeah,
common sense, people. Oh, that's a bad word, but you know what I mean. Just think a little bit more.
Common sense? No,
that's some people
need to learn. Motherfuckers don't have common sense.
Wait,
nowadays.
common sense is like not PC now? Like that's the new thing?
No, that word offends some people, so that's why like I'm trying to be aware.
Oh, if okay, well, people that are offended by the word common sense, like, yo, shut the fuck up. What? Why did it just bring up this fucking computer? Bring up fucking celebrities with coronavirus. Updated list.
It's the government, bro. They're trying to like keep it in our face. Like, hey, don't forget about the coronavirus. It's still here.
In case
It's
you
like
forgot.
90,000 deaths.
They like, yo, y'all niggas ain't talking about the Rona today. You gonna make out?
They're like, correction.
Look,
It's so
I forgot
ridiculous.
my thought, man. Where was I? I felt like I was getting something good.
We were talking about common sense.
Common sense.
Oh yeah, the motherfuckers that think that common sense is, you know, like a bad thing or whatever, they don't got no common sense. That's just what it is. I think if you get offended by something, like you just either like live that life or you just, you know, like, you know, if you get offended that someone's gay or some shit like that, you know, like
Right.
you probably low key like gay. You know what I'm saying? Like, or like if you get like offended, like
Like
you know,
in denial, yeah.
yeah, it's like it's a weird thing, man. Like I feel
No,
like
I definitely hear you, bro. Like I
Common
hear you.
sense, wrong. Moving on. Nah.
Yeah, it's a big world out there. That's all I want to say, you know.
That's
so,
weird that people are like offended
you gotta
by that now.
You got to respect people's opinions, you know.
Well, speaking of
Are they?
opinions, Jock, you had opinion on your random thought that you sent me. Well, I actually don't know your opinion yet. I just know the random thought, which is Max Kellerman's a rapper. I didn't know this.
I didn't even look
so-
at that shit. I wanted to.
So backstory on that. So guys, Max Kellerman is a sports analysis. He actually started off with boxing. Like he was really big on boxing, and then he joined Stephen A. And so like he's a sports analysis once again. So if you see him like right now, you wouldn't think he's like super clean cut, super. Oh, I'm Max Kellerman, you know.
White.
Yeah. So
Extreme.
so one episode, him and Stephen A. were getting into it, and Stephen A. was like, "Man, you in the '90s trying to be a rapper, so you don't know what you're talking about. You was focused on your rap career." And I was like, "Wait, rap career?" So I did a little digging, right? So I YouTube Max Kellerman, and there he was. You know what I mean? Like he sounded like Eminem, bro. When I hit play, it was like I was listening to Eminem. Like he kind of had bars, low key, and I kind of respect him more. Actually, I seen that video.
Really?
But basically, he was signed to Columbia Records. He actually got signed to Columbia Records in 1994, and he had a group with him and his brother called Max and Sam. Max and Sam, yeah. So like that little rap duo group, and then he went solo for a little bit. But he's not bad, and it's funny because he always give like hip hop references, and I'm like, like
Yeah,
talking
Max
about
be on this hip hop shit.
right. But I thought it was like not legit. But now I'm like, okay, he really was into that shit because he was a rapper, you know.
Max
So,
Kellerman.
yeah, it's just funny.
Super takes.
Very random.
The most recent one that caught me was he was talking about the Warriors. I don't know if I don't think it was recent. I think it was just
Andre
circulated recently. And he was like, if I get one person on that team taking the final shot, I want Andre Iguodala.
Yeah. I think Max trolls sometimes, bro. I think he trolls.
Nah, I think he does. I think he does that shit to piss off Stephen A.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, like,
Just
I
to
know
get a
Stephen
rise
A's
out
probably
of him.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I do too.
Because his reactions to things, he'd just be like, Max, hold on. No. Are you telling me? Like, what? No warnings.
Yo, sometimes we just look at the shit. Like with him and like Max and Molly, like they'll be talking about some shit, and Stephen A will just be like sitting there like, "What the fuck are they talking about, man?" Like,
Yeah, I know, right?
yeah,
Sideways.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but that was my random thought. Max Kellerman, the rapper.
That's crazy.
1994.
We'll have to retweet that so everybody can see and laugh at him.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
He wasn't bad though. He wasn't bad.
That's what's
Chance,
up.
you
Yo,
had some
it's
random
people
thoughts.
out there that, like with random rap careers that y'all you would know, like Tom Green.
Oh, I remember him.
I remember he
Tom.
made the Bum Bum song.
Nah, but I'm talking about like he was rapping. Well, with I think it was like not organized noise. It was organized something, organized crime, organized time, some shit like that. He was in a group and like Canadian dudes. They had a video and everything, man. It was like 1990 though.
He's
I
all
believe it.
stand-up now.
Before he was on MTV, you know what I'm saying?
I believe that.
It was dope. But
Just like Andy Milonakis. I'm sorry, I said that name wrong. Andy Milonakis. There you go.
yeah. Hey,
Remember when Andy Milonakis was like 40 years old when he looked like he was like 10?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, hold on real quick, and we'll come to my random thought. Y'all just chop it over real quick.
Benjamin Button. He had the Benjamin Button.
He sure did.
It was weird. I never knew that. I never that was one of those things that I had heard about and I was like, what? Nah. But it was also that time where you couldn't Google and just trust that everything you'd find would be accurate. I mean, you still can't, obviously, but now like we should, if you have common sense, you can filter out what's fake news, what's real news, and all of that
Right,
kind of
right.
stuff. But yeah, I remember hearing that. I was like, what? No way. Like rumors could still exist
Yeah.
even 15 years ago, where now it's like you can immediately go online and dispel most things, unless
Exactly,
it's something like coronavirus that nobody knows what the hell is actually going on. But, you know, usually you can dispel most things that are true. I remember that was one of the last things that I remember learning that I was like, oh, shit, he is like 40.
Right, because like you said, I didn't really believe it at first either. I was like, nah, like this is trolling, you know what I mean? Like to its finest. But you said it was true, but we didn't have access to seeing all those things. So like, shout out to Eddie Milonakis, man. Like he wasn't bad, you know, in the bars, but I didn't take him seriously because I thought he was just like a young kid lying to everybody.
He had some moments where he was pretty funny. He had a couple other moments that were like a little bit cringeworthy, but the whole premise, it was like that whole era of, I guess like the first one was Tom Green, you know?
Yeah.
Then it was Jackass. Then it was, you know, then it kind of became like the ridiculousness.
Howard Stern too. I remember him.
Stern still, I mean, the crazy thing is Stern is still out there, man. He's what, Sirius XM? Like that, he's the reason people still have satellite radio for some people.
Wow. Shout out to Howard Stern, man. He's been doing it for a long time. Shit.
Howard Stern's the one that had the Brady interview that Brady opened up and started talking about, you know, Giselle wanted him home more and you know, all this kind of stuff. Like, shout out to Howard Stern for sure, because he pushed the envelope too. He was one of the people.
He has some wild, yes. He has some wild episodes. I saw like the actual, it was pretty wild episodes for sure.
I mean, it's crazy too because I mean, Shock Jock, it was radio, basically podcast before podcast was really a thing. But
so wait, is Howard Stern one of the founding fathers?
I mean, possibly? Not actual podcast, but yeah, because I mean, I feel like that kind of pushed a lot of people to go into that more like long form, you know, not cheeky radio. Like, all right, we're gonna go to a local radio station, you know, Roses after the break.
That's crazy.
Howard
Stern. Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, he started this shit. Yeah, like, really,
he's
did.
He's the
watch that show, man. Like on E.
Yes, E.
Like,
Yep.
Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, that was the point I was gonna make. Is like, think about that. Like, if people try to do that now, how sensitive everybody is. That's not.
You couldn't do it on that platform.
Right.
You could do that shit. Like, if we had some chicks, if I had somebody sitting in here from fucking like that had OnlyFans and shit like that, and I was like, oh, well, show me something you do on OnlyFans. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, we'd be lit. You know?
Yeah. The next evolution.
Yo, before I get to my random thought and shit like that, first of all, I just want to give a shout out to my nigga Brandon right here. My nigga Brandon Flowers. He's actually sitting in on it. Remember I told y'all about the artist? My nigga Brandon, I'm gonna show y'all that real quick.
Yeah, show him. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know what Brandon Flowers. I was like, is that the same one? It's not.
Hey, what's up, man? There's a story behind that. There's a story behind that.
But my nigga, upcoming artist, he just dropped 2 tapes, man. Like this year and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like shit, he, you know, like real. You know what I'm saying? Got a video and everything. We'll link it in like the description and shit. But I just want to shout him out because that nigga been chilling with me all day and shit. You know.
Shout out. Make sure you follow your boy.
Okay, so my random thought just came about. Like it was actually last night, and it was like it freaked me the fuck out. But for some reason I was talking to someone about the Munsters or whatever, like that show, you know, from like the fucking 60s, you know, like Herman Munster, Lily Munster,
right?
All the motherfucking Eddie Munster.
Yeah.
So I was trying to figure out Lily Munster's name or whatever. So I like go to like the Wikipedia page and shit like that. And I start reading the shit, and like I see like, you know, in the synopsis or whatever that Eddie Munster is half vampire, half werewolf.
He's a liking and a okay.
He's half vampire, half werewolf. But listen, Lily is a vampire because her dad is fucking Grandpa Munster, right?
Right.
Which is he's a vampire. So Lily's a vampire. Herman Munster is the fucking like the Frankenstein monster or whatever.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is Eddie Munster's dad? Who the fuck is his dad?
Hey, good question.
Hey, some deadbeat.
That shit like blew my fucking mind. I was like, yo, son, Herman Munster's not Eddie Munster's dad.
Damn.
Yeah, he played a stepdaddy role. Okay. Yeah.
Yo.
Hey, even back then they weren't up to no good.
Yo.
Wow.
Shit, bro, that was like in the fucking 60s, man. Like 65.
Yeah,
that shit.
You know what's
that
crazy,
whole
man?
series is in black and white.
I feel like it's always innuendos that we don't understand because we're like too young to understand, and then we understand when we get older. Like, dang, like it's a lot of deep stuff that they put into like cartoons and like shows that we don't get until now. You know, like years later. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if they do it on purpose or what. You know.
It's funny you mentioned that. I mean, you think about like all the movies we watch now or when we got a little bit older, like Pixar movies. There's like the little subtle humor in there for adults. The kids are kind of like oblivious. There are so many movies that I saw when I was a kid that I haven't seen since that like if I see it, I'm like, I've seen that. I don't want to watch that. I've seen that before. But really like I didn't see that in the same perspective, the same mindset. So like so many movies I want to go back and rewatch now as an adult and see like, all right, what did I miss like when I was younger and just couldn't understand?
Like Bambi.
Yeah.
Nah, look, I'll give you one better. The Lion King. Bro,
Yeah.
Nala came back, right? And she gave Simba the ass, right? You know what I'm saying? And then he was like, yo, I gotta go back. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like, you know, he finally got some ass.
Yeah.
And shit.
Yeah,
Like, yo,
equity.
Yeah.
Had to get back out there.
The next king or whatever. You
Kill
know?
the cat.
Yeah.
It was all,
Facts.
like, yeah, these cartoons and these fucking like TV shows and shit like that, man, they be trying to tell you something else, you know? It was like how we were saying, like talking about like the movie, like we were, you know, like we were talking about Contagion and shit a few episodes ago. The dude of that, like, he was trying to tell us something, you know? Like that's why that shit was like so well researched and shit like that, you know? Like that something like that could really happen. And lo and behold, you know, it did.
It really can. Yeah. And
Facts.
So before we
Eddie Munster.
jump in our next break, I know you have one more, right?
Where's my phone? Did I?
You were talking about
Introduce it.
Woods.
Oh, okay,
Woods.
yeah. All right, yeah. Let's kind of get into this a little bit, man. Backwoods are like all for a stunt. It's like all for like, oh, all right, I want you to see me smoking this big fat ass blunt. Because if you think about it, bro, like if you really just smoking a backwood with like just two people, you could have got higher with a swisher, like a regular fucking swisher. You know what I'm saying? Like you like wasting weed. Like you know, like the cherry's so big, you know, like no, don't like I like smoking backwoods, you know, like don't get me wrong. It's like because it's like smoking a cigar, you know, it's a different way you smoke it. But if I want to get high, yeah, I'd rather smoke a Swisher Sweet, you know? Like, I feel like I'm already rolling like a whole gram to a fucking gram and a half in the backwood, you know? Like, that's just regular, you know? Like, you can't go smaller than that, shit like that. So, I don't know. I just think that that's just all like a stunt. And, like, people that, like, constantly, like, smoking and shit, they just kind of, like, stunting just because, like, they can.
Well, and I think part of it, too, is it's not easy to roll. So that's
like
part of the flex, you know, like people are like, oh, like, look what I got. I figured this out. But I don't know, like, what the difference is in the leaf. But, like, the backwood leaf just seems to, like, that nicotine just seems to hit me differently. I don't know what it is. Like, it just, every time, it's like, it's very sedative in a way, like, oh, shit. Like, I don't know if it's, like, a higher concentration of nicotine or what, but that's the difference for me.